Hello everyone. So in this video, it's going to be the last of my current bases that I have built design video. I've done a video on all the other ones I've built so far. This is my rock wall base or yellow base. You can see the little marker right there. It does have a bounce web tower to get up from down there because the incoming zipline anchor for me heading to this base is actually down on the edge of the pond. Then I run across, come up to bounce web towers, land on that thingamabob, and up here we go. So just looking at a basic layout of the design, I'm going to pull up the floor blueprint. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11 sections across from where the stairs are all the way over here. Excuse me. And then from the back, 1, 2, 3. Uh-oh, lost space. Let me try that again. So we got the tower, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So from the far side, from the stairs to the side over here is 11. From the back corner to the front corner is 9. Now this little point only sticks out to go across just 3, and then it cuts in 1. So I know that sounds kind of weird, but when I show it out in creative, you'll see what I mean. And you see how it only goes, it cuts back in 1 and then goes all the way across. So we'll go over this more in creative. That's if creative will let me use the clay foundations on the floor. I was trying this earlier and it didn't want to play correctly. The top floor, once you get up here to the stairs, obviously goes all the way across, back to from this corner to that corner, and then the front corner to that back corner. From this back wall to this edge is 4 floor sections that go across until you meet this, and which is 5 floor sections off this wall. And that gives me that little L shape. So in the interior, of course, is all closed in with the weed stem walls, which is only 3 deep. It's only, it's not that big of a room. It's only 3 deep. You want, just 3 weed stem windowed walls, and then a door, stairs, bounce web tower. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the video and hop on over to. Actually, let me hop down real quick before I do that. So to set up the bounce web, you can either try not to fall to your death. You can either try to attach it up there, which you see I have those blueprints there just for that emphasis. I don't have mine attached, I'm not going to. But I went 3 floor sections off of the wall to make sure that I had enough space so I didn't hit my head on the overhanging rock up there. As well as the position for this is pretty easy to find. There's 3 yellow flowers over here on the north side of the pond. North side of the pond. So the eastern, which is further to that side, easternmost flower, you turn around, you're going to come to this rock, and then that rock sticking out, and that's where I built off of. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to creative and start laying this out and see if we can't get this to work. So give me just a moment, let me pause the video, and I'll be back in just a second. Alright, so I'm here in creative, and as you can see, like I was saying about the yellow flowers, there's only 3 of them. And if you take the one that's closest to the gas station or furthest east, and you even see the 23 weed stem husky weed is right there, we're going to build our tower directly beneath here. One thing I did was for several days, if not weeks, before I actually did this, I don't mean weeks in game, I mean weeks, IRL, I actually cut down all these weed stems and stored them on pallets along the wall down there for the sole purpose of bringing them up to build up here. And then, of course, I cut down a bunch of grass from this side and threw it off the edge of the cliff so that I could use it down here for the platforms for my my bounce web tower that I'm going to build. So now I'm going to go ahead and just drop down. This is creative, so don't worry about dying or anything. But like I said, I had dozens, probably 2 dozen pallets along this back wall full of weed stems, constantly cutting these down, storing them, cut them down, store them every 3 days in game. So there's our third or easternmost flower. If you turn, you'll see this smaller rock, this smaller stone in the wall. This is the stone that I built off of. Now, setting this up, I'm not going to use that, I'm going to use this. Kind of go sideways with it a bit. Now, this is just a spacer. Obviously, in the real game, you just put down the blueprint, you don't have to actually build the thing. But then you can put your, I don't know why that's doing that. Sometimes creative is iffy on letting me build stuff the way I want. And if it won't, that's fine. I'll just, because see, in the real game, as long as I can get the blueprint down, I could then put that there. So I'll just put it on the grass floor for now. And then I also have an area over here that's not letting me really build out to it. I'm not, creative is picky about when it wants you to, where it wants you to build, because you can build down into the ground, which can be a pain. As you can see, some of these spots are taking just fine. Oh, that's the inside of my kid's head. That was weird. So this is just me kind of building up that little area that's right in front of my bounce web tower that I have there. It's not necessary. I'm just seeing where some of these blueprints will go and some won't. Okay, let me delete that. So in the areas where the blueprints won't go, I'm going to have to just fill in with this. In the real game, I would do what I had to, if I could, to get the clay foundations to take, because they did take in my world, but this is also a very old build. So this is going to be a 10-sided tower. It's one of the more expensive designs, but in this area, it doesn't really matter as much because there's so much weed stems close by. And after if you do the same thing like I did and save up a bunch of weed stems on pallets, I would wait till all these regrow and then start building. You'll maximize how much you get to use. But now that I have this all figured out, I'm going to go ahead and clean this up just a bit before I keep going up. Give it one last go. One last little... Nope. Oh well. So in here it is going to have, unfortunately, grass planks in some spots, but, that's just how it goes. Now, I have the ramp in the middle. I put a light on either side because I like my world to be well lit. Same thing back here. Lights in the corners, because this is where the first bounce web goes. It's right back here where I'm standing. But before I do that, I'm going to lay out all of the bottom 3 levels of walls. So there's your 3rd level. As the bounce web goes up, we'll cover 3 wall heights easily. It'll go up like 3.5, so that's why I say 3, because you can land on the floor if it's up there on top of the 3rd level. It will not clear 4. And then with this, go ahead and set your, if I can find it, there it is. This you'll just set blueprints, so you can kind of look up, maybe jump up to set the blueprint in the right spot. And there's 2 different ways to really do this. There's, you place your bounce web, and you either bounce up here and spam the build button as you pass through this and bounce, several times up and down, or try to land on the edge, walk up, build. Either way works. But from here, we're going to go and build like so. 3 more levels again. Make sure the walls are in the right spot. I do the windowed weed stem wall, just because it's only 2 weed stems to build that wall. It's one of the cheapest, and if you're wearing ant armor, you can complete 4 sections of this wall with a full load of weed stems without any smoothers or anything extra. Okay. I'll do that. Delete the wall behind me in just a second. Alright, so now we got that taken care of. We're going to go ahead and floors. I like to have all my floors facing the same way. And if you're having issues getting the floors in the right spot, like I said, try to get the blueprints up there. If that won't work, you don't have to do the blueprints from down here. You can turn the light on, just so you can see what you're doing. And then if you want, you can land up here and come up and place your blueprints. Now, of course, doing that with stuff on your shoulder, if you miss, you dandelion tuft, or if you have Daredevil, you just take a little bit of fall damage. Daredevil is probably a better option, so you don't have to worry about dropping everything. I'm going to get rid of that real quick. Let me see, a nice little run up. Now we're going to go 3 more wall sections. Actually, on this end, the end where I'm putting the bounce up, I'm going to go 4. Because that is the top of the tower, is up there. It's 4. So we're just getting these walls thrown in real quick. And I'll have I have a link in the description below for my bounce web tower or zipline tower design, which is basically just bounce webs. I don't like doing stairs a whole lot, being that when you stream and you're running up and upstairs, you're spinning the camera a lot. It's not always the best visually for you or your viewers to see the camera spin constantly. As I said, you can jump up here, land on that little on the top of the wall, and then if you have grass on your shoulder, you know, blueprint down, build it, and then you're good to go. Okay, I did put lights down there. Now you see you're high enough up. If you wanted, you can continue this tower up to the top. And then you can go 3 more levels and then have a little bridge that leads right onto the rocks. You could do that if you wanted. I'm not going to do that because that's not how I built mine. I wanted mine to be a little bit different. So right now I'm going to miss. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause. I'm going to then get my way up there. And once I get up to the top, because basically to get up top is a very long run down the wall, up this slanted rock, back this way, and up more rocks. It's kind of a pain. So it might be better if you just built this up to where it went all the way up there. But I have mine in a certain spot for a reason. So let me just pause real quick and I'll get up there so we can continue building. All right, so now we've made it up here to the top part of the wall. And you see there's the bounce web tower section. And like I said, you could continue that up and come up here and just have it where it bounces up and you come across. It would make things probably a little bit simpler for you. But I like doing mine the way I did it. So now comes the fun part of making the actual base layout the way I want it. And of course it's going to be a little iffy with letting me place foundations where I need to. Creative has been kind of hit or miss with me lately. And so right now I'm just working on getting the front of the base built up. So that all depends on where the blueprints will take. Sometimes they will take, sometimes they won't. So see, sometimes they just won't take like this. It's being a little bit iffy with me right now, so I may wind up with a weird pattern of grass and what in the hell? And what you call it? These guys. The foundations. Oh, I'm sitting there thinking about it. And sometimes, like I said, it just will not take the blueprint way down there. So for this one, I do remember there is no blue. This is as far forward as the wall goes. And I think I have it come over one more section. But this is all just, you know, however you want to set it up. So first things first is to try to get this to go forward, and it won't. They're trying to get the stairs, which are actually double wide, to hang off the edge here. So if I go here, I can then grab the floor. And see how it looks like it's just a bit too far away. Yep, that's too far away. All right, once again, I'm going to pause while I get up. Actually, you know what? No, we're going to build this the way I've been saying. It would be much smarter. So if you're going to just build this, build a tower that goes a little bit higher than mine. Now, I just go up to the top of the wall. Because see, if you have it right here, you can then just easily build straight over onto the wall itself, onto the rock wall, instead of having to rely on, you know, that stuff right there. Because apparently, when I did it in the game, I was actually closer. Which would make sense that I was right here. But also in the game, I didn't have issues laying out the foundations. They all just dropped foundations and they went. But I had to go pretty far down with them, which may not be possible anymore with the way the changes to the game have been made. So, if you build up to here, you know, it's a good idea. That way you can just spin that around if you wanted. Figure out why it won't go out in front of my character. So I'm going to leave that open over there, but normally you would close that off. And you could then put, I don't know, maybe a set of stairs to go right here. Not there. Trying to get them to go not there. There. And then, you know, a floor. And then you're up here on the rock safely, not having to worry about any kind of goofiness. Obviously, you would put maybe handrails or something there. Just so that when you're running up, you don't accidentally run off the edge and fall. So, you know, obviously do one on both sides. Or put it like that, because creative is so much fun. Alright, so now that we've got this kind of sort of laid out. Sort of. So the bulk of this is going to be at this height. Because we want to be high enough up that we go up onto this rock over here. So some of it will be, and for the sake of the video, will be closed in with grass. Matter of fact, now that I have this grass kind of laid out, I'm going to probably just go with grass from here on. It's too bad that's only half a stair height. You know, too bad I can't click on the correct spot. So, that is little upsetting, but it's fine. I'll make it work. I'm looking for the floor pieces. So now, yes, this is not the same height overall, and that could be easily fixed. If you wanted to make it all really tall, you could do that and just build your floor off of there. Like so. Or if you're coming in from this side, you know, you obviously wouldn't do the stairs at all. You would just maybe do stairs on this side, though. So I'm going to go through and delete some of the stuff that's underneath, because I thought creative was going to work with me, but apparently it doesn't want to cooperate today. So I'm just going to get rid of some of these real quick. I'm going to go ahead and pause while I do that. Alright, so now I've gone through, deleted all that. I even took out the stairs because I decided just to make this where it was a bounce up tower that led right up to the wall, and you just came up on the wall. And a lean-to for while you're building, because you want to be able to sleep when it gets later in the day, which you see it's already kind of getting late on me here. Like I said, it was 11 sections across. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now, using grass instead of foundations, you're given a little bit more, I guess, freedom of how you want to set this up. Like, I literally could have maybe moved this over a bit and had it to where the stairs and everything start a little further over. So, I mean, it's creative. It's not that big a deal. I can always come in here, turn this way, and say I want it to go right across. No, I don't want to match up to that. That's actually not a bad spot to match. I kind of was liking it a little bit lower, though. So you always have the ability to do that. Now, that kind of goes straight along the wall, which is actually kind of what I wanted to begin with. I wanted it to go straight across that opening of the wall. So now we'll go ahead and just kind of lay these out. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11. Now I know it's going to go back a ways, so I'm just going to go ahead and build back that way. And then I'm just going to go across. But this is all just kind of put it wherever you want type scenario. Obviously you don't need to build up here. This is just me building in a kind of a crazy spot. Yeah. Alright, so it's getting late in the game, in the creative mode, so I'm going to do the sleep here in just a second. I'm going to go ahead and put down a light next to my sleep area just so it's easy to find at night. Always a good idea, you know, to light it up so you can see where you got to go sleep. Even might be a good idea to bring over enough stuff to make a water catcher or dew collector. Also press the W. Alright. So now from here, let's see, we're gonna let's go back a ways. As soon as I find there we go. Let's see, I'm probably gonna go back 2 more. So that's 1. I just go all the way to the edge. Don't have to count them anymore now that I have that all laid out. And building out of grass here probably makes more sense than clay, just because of the endless resources. Even though I personally do prefer the look of the clay floor that I have. Just filling in the hole right now. Now I said it was 11 across by 9 front to back. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and that's perfect because this one sticks out just 3. So that's the basic setup. I will actually delete this first set of stairs and put in some more stairs over here. If I delete that, will it delete anything? Oh, please don't. Okay. So now I have a base that's up here overlooking. Now you can go forward if you want because you're using grass floors. That's not a problem. You can have fun with that. So I'm going to start with this front corner, which is a support corner for the floor above. And I'm actually going to start with the the sturdy walls. And I'm going to do to where it looks like a pattern. So you can kind of see where they kind of meet and make different shapes, either an X or a diamond, depending on how you're looking at it. Now in here, you don't have to do this. I'm going to do it anyway because I want to. Alright, that's supposed to be up there and not on top of me. Now just to make sure these all line up correctly, so I get the X on this corner, and if I look at it from the other side, it's a diamond. So now we're going to go in to this and just put in some... I'm doing the walls underneath for the simple fact of kind of closing it off. Now, while you're building back here, you're going to want to... You don't have to do this. This is just me being a little overboard. That's just me closing it in. It's creative. It's quick. So you will probably want to do something with some stairs back here. so you can get up from where you were just working. So stairs in the back is always a good idea. And then let's go ahead and finish off closing off this bottom floor real quick, since I'm already down here. Those pieces down there have absolutely nothing to do with what I got going on. So now, also too, to get into the back of the base, these will probably get moved unless I manage to perfectly center them, which I actually might have. Doubt it. This side will also get stairs, a bunch of them. Probably that many. And then we will continue on with building the corner posts. We'll get rid of those crenellations here in a little bit. So you see how I made that mirror that one over there. And for me, this is just about making it all look a certain way. Would have helped if I'd have put the, just for everything being the same. Not that that's needed. You obviously don't need to do that. You can just do, you don't have to do this much of the wall. You could literally just do one piece. And that'd have been enough. To get rid of the crenellations is pretty simple. Obviously, you're going to want to maybe center that properly. And my stairs are off by one because the stairs, this set of stairs needs to be moved. Just so that you'll see in just a second when I kind of point out why. But I have corner piece, 3 sections of sprig railing, 2 sections of stairs, and then we're going to go another 3 sections of sprig railing. And now we're into the corner piece area, plus the stairs that go next to the corner support. So first things first. But for this one, this side is going to be angled up like that because there's going to be stairs over here. And then this we'll go ahead and just continue making the, you know, the design. But I like these. I like this slanted weed stem on here to be angled up because I do put stairs in here. And let me find what I'm looking for. And this one does, now right here you're going to want, you don't actually have to do this either, you can just put the floor up there, but I'm going to do it because I want to. Back to my sturdy wall. Now we're going to do some stairs so we can get up to the next floor. If the stairs will go where they belong. Delete the ones that are just up in the air. And just to make this look good, we're going to use the little triangle piece of the wall just to kind of close that in. But you see we have the corner piece and then 2 sets of stairs, 3 and the corner piece. With the far set of stairs here being the set that sticks way over to the side. Now, you could leave this here and just go stairs all the way across, and that's perfectly, you know, fine. It's your world. That way when you run in, you have, you know, nice smooth transition on here. You see that front edge looks kind of weird, so I am going to close that. This build is taking on a whole new monster, so to speak. I'm actually going to delete a piece of floor right here so I can drop in and do this. So this easier than trying to fall off the edge and not fall off the rocks. Oops. Now, obviously, like I said, you don't have to do all this if you want to leave it open, or if you want to put this base in a different spot. I mean, obviously, you can build wherever you want. But looks like I left myself a way out without even realizing it, which is great. So I don't have to tear anything down. Now to replace that floor piece that I deleted while I was going down there to get rid of those. And yes, there are crenellations in front. The crenellations maybe look like a defensive area, but I hate them a lot. So you could always just... And at the end of the video, I will go back to my real game to kind of show more in depth my actual build, since I'm having to use grass here instead of my actual, the way I set it up. Grass lowers all going that way. So now we're going to go all the way across. Preferably in a straight line. Preferably. Or not. And then that's going to connect all the way up here. Now this section up in the front is only 5 sections wide, so we're already at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Take this all the way to the back. Oh, almost fell through that. Now this back section over here was only 4 sections from front to back, so we got, I'll do it over here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Go all the way across, fill in that hole, and all the way to the edge of the stairs. Don't go over the stairs. So that is the layout for the floor for the second story. Now up here, because that's why we had a bunch of weed stems on pallets downstairs, saved up, ready to go. And just weed stem wall, including here. Not that piece that's sticking out in the middle of nowhere, though. Like I said, this one was only 3 sections across, and that was it, because I left 2 spaces here. I had a door here with the hinge towards the weed stem, the windowed weed stem wall. And now I'm getting ready to put on the last few interior walls, as well as the roof. That room in there is 2 sections high, because when you put a roof on it, it already elevates it up 1. And now, because I put on that triangle wall piece, I can just start with my roof pieces that float in the middle of nowhere. And push them all the way 1 short of the corner, like that. Because you're going to come back with the corner piece. This was built before the squared roof corner was a thing. So I had to go back in and rip that down and replace it, which I'm okay with because it was a quick fix. So you put in the squared roof corner, just so it completely covers off the corner instead of having that little gap. And now we have to go in here and do the roof in here. Same thing, get the squared corner pieces in, put in your regular pieces. Make sure, I always make sure that the floor faces the same direction in every base. I did mess that up on my pagoda base a little bit, and I'm just kind of leaving it the 2, 3 or 4. I think it's 4 pieces that are turned the wrong way. I'm just leaving them the way they are because of where they are. They're hard to see. They're just hard to get to, and I don't want to risk toppling that whole base. So now I'm looking for that one that built randomly down here. So that is the layout of the base. more or less, wide open. Like I said, there's multiple different ways you can come up here. So now we're just going to kind of set this up. Obviously, it's set up a little bit differently because of the clay not wanting to work for me the way it did in the real game. But this little 2-section spot right here is where I put 3 weed stem pallets across, and then do the pallets first, then come back with the grass floor above that. To keep them all in a nice straight line, a little trick that I use is I put handrails along the wall, along the edges. I mean, yeah, you could get up here and eyeball it or whatever, but it does help to keep everything nice and neat and straight. Also, I get out of the way. And then we'll go with more. I'm just going to put the shelf there. And there's 3 more weed stem pallets that go up here. Actually, you know what? I might as well. That first one's crooked. And then to put the grass pallets right next to it, I grabbed a couple of weed stems. One, two, 3 sections of floor to cross. And then with this one, it's not so important to put the pallets down first because they're not very tall. Whereas the weed stems, they are. But same thing, you're building the exact same kind of shelf system. But with this one, I'm going to go ahead and do all of the handrails and stuff first. If it'll cooperate. And then, once again, floor. And I'll have a video on storage options. I'll have that linked in the description below. Just because it goes over, you know, setups like this. And that one you can see glitched way too far back. In the real game, it may or may not do that. But creative is a different beast to build in. Now normally this section right here is where the way up is. So I would have weed stem or sprig railing come all the way over here in my game. But if you decide to build it this way, you know, you got plenty of space for these guys to go across. I'm only going to put, you know, 4. You can go as far as you want. Obviously you're going to put some lights, you know, in multiple spots so you can see what you're doing, especially as it gets later in the day in game. Now with this one, you can put the light directly on the pallet, or you can just put it right over here. And that'll provide you with enough light while you're by your pallets to stock up, do your stuff, that kind of stuff. And then around these corners, because there isn't much up here as far as resources go, I put lots of water storage. I actually had more than this at one point, and then I shrunk it down. I had to take some of them down. And then with the water producers, the dew collectors, I turned them sideways, spaced them out so I could fit between them. You could fit more, but 4 was all I was really, you know, wanting to put up here. And then so that's your ground floor all laid out. Like I said, I'll go back to my game and show you the difference between here and there because of the way the foundations didn't want to work or didn't want to place. Up here is where you got that. Go to food prep. Smoothies inside of that door. bunch of jerky racks for when they do open that up. Hopefully we'll be finding a bunch of aphids and stuff in there, you know, make a bunch of jerky out of it. You know, it's up to you. I then surrounded all of this with boxes. I'm only going to lay maybe a few. I'm not going to lay them all as soon as I find them. So I kind of made it to where I did 3 boxes there, maybe only 2, I don't remember. Just to make sure that the door wouldn't hit it, even though the door doesn't technically hit it. And then these continue all the way down there to the along the edge of the railing, all the way to the workstation. And then this one, they continue all the way across. They get to the corner, and then they go from all along this wall, staying below the height of the window, and just going all the way across the room. And they go all the way around. I'm just leaving the gaps there to make this thing go a little bit faster with the build. Now in here, there's armor dummies in front of every window. This is probably the only base, I think it is the only base, where I don't have a box at the foot of the bed. Now I got decorations in here as far as chairs and stuff. But that's... And then armor dummies. I like to have my armor dummies if they're by a window facing out the window. And then they have one for every window opening. Not this side, because I have decorations in front here. Got lights and stuff in here. You know, can't really see because of all the stuff in the middle of the screen. Kind of wish they'd put that somewhere else versus right where you're trying to focus to build. Out here are weapon racks. But that mouse click button could be higher or lower. It doesn't need to be right there. That's bad placement. I realize now too that last weapon rack, sorry, didn't take. And then with the lights on the other side of the wall, you don't have to put as many because they kind of glow through and give light to both sides. And now that you have the roof done, that's when you build your stairs going up towards your bounce web tower for your zip line. And then up here is going to be a 10-sided tower, which I'll have my zipline design video, or yeah, zipline tower design video linked in the description below. I'm only just going to do just maybe this bottom row. And then you come up and you'll have a couple of lights so that you're not, you know, coming up here in the dark trying to get, in case you're trying to move between base to base at night if you want to sleep at a different base for whatever reason. If you have more than one. Not everybody does. But that is the basic overall design of this base. Building it out of clay or grass worked quite well, went very fast. Obviously using weed stems for things like these walls and those walls. If you didn't have them prepared downstairs by cutting these down and storing them on pallets, that could be an issue. You could always just build your bounce web tower up to here and easily get onto the rock with no problem. I think that was 4 levels. Four landing areas, so 4 bounce webs plus 1 extra level, so 13 levels tall. And then you have the base itself. But I'm going to switch back to creative now. I just kind of show you what my base looks like one more time compared to what I had to do here in creative because the foundations didn't want to work the way I needed them to. Alright, as you can see, I'm back in my world where all my stuff is built. You can see all my markers and everything. And you can see that I was able to use foundations all through here with no problem. No issues as far as them taking. That's a solid foundation floor. I did put a lean-to underneath that leaf right there because while you're building down here, you might need a place to sleep. And this also provides you, if you can see the little yellow or orange drops of nectar. And it's a great spot to get plenty of food and water because you get 20-something of those a day, and it takes 7 of them from when you wake up to get full hunger and thirst meters. So you see I did lights behind every bounce web. And this is only going to be 3 bounce webs because the 4th one, as you can see, I'm showing that you could connect this if you had it in the right position. If you wanted to have this little landing platform, because it is at the exact right height. It's just obviously at the wrong angle. So you see mine took a lot of clay and was able to really build. Now this is an old build, So it may not be able to build that way at all. You may have to build it more the way I did it during the video with the grass and stuff. But if you are able to build it this way, you basically just build a little channel coming up with the pebblet foundation floor and then the pebblet foundation ramp. And you go up and you see I have everything laid out nice and clean. This is why I prefer the foundation. And yes, the foundation is solid all the way down through. I didn't go solid to the floor here, but you can see I went pretty low here. And I'll go back around this way. Instead of having stairs, I just have a little makeshift build that you can't really do anymore because I completed things without completing the supporting blueprints. So that's why I have the stairs off to the side, all the storage and everything. You can see. This is what I was saying earlier, was instead of having these go along the fencing there, my fence turns in, so they went this way. So I crammed in 12 of them right there. And then I have more ramps headed out this way where I have stairs in the video. So in case I want to run off that way, it's nice and clean. And then you see around the front is where I have the actual marker. Instead of that right there, you see on that zipline anchor, that is the receiving end for this base. It's not actually at the base. You have to run across, go up the tower, and come over here. May not be the best, but it works because it's a very low anchor point. And then up top, like I was showing you earlier, the boxes that wrap around. And they go all the way to the corner. And I only have 4 of these guys here. If they open up the back part of the yard, I might put a 5th. Or if you don't want to have your boxes down here, you want to, just don't want them there, you can put shelves up high, going above, and put your boxes up here. That's another place you can put it too, is up top, kind of like I have in my orange base. And same thing, weapon racks and some decorations in here. Like I said, there's no box by this bed. I probably should put a box in here, but I'm not going to. I don't use this base that much right now, but I will. And then the big bounce up tower, the 10-sided build from the zipline tower design video I have, along with little area to work on so I can get to each zipline depending on where it's going. But that is my yellow base or rock wall base. If you guys like this content, would like to see more like it, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, turn on the bell for notifications. I do stream on my YouTube Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, typically starting between 3:30 and 4 p.m. Mountain Time. Be sure to stop by, say hi during one of my streams. Got any questions, that's the perfect time to ask. Or if you have questions and you can't make a stream, drop it in the comment section below and I'll do my best to answer it. But until the next video, you guys have a good one.